Welcome back for another episode of the Sports Playbook, where I'll give you a breakdown of what's been happening in the world of sport in the last 7 days in under 15 minutes. My name is Demoz, the clock is on, and we have some headlines to cover, so you know the drill. Let's get right into it. In netball, the New South Wales Swifts remain undefeated and lead the competition. Up against the Queensland Firebirds in front of their home fans, the Swifts played in the Rainbow Bowl for Pride Round. The Swifts took out the match 71-63. Grace Wecky proved to be one of the top goal shooters in the competition with 54 goals from 56 attempts. Paige Hadley won MVP for the match with an amazing work rate, steering the ship for the home side. In other matches, the Giants finally got their first win of the season up against the Adelaide Thunderbirds, taking it out 64-63. For the Thunderbirds, this was their first match since Shamira Sterling-Humphrey announced she was pregnant with the couple's first child, and she'll be out for the remainder of the season. In the Battle of Melbourne, the Vixens went up against the Mavericks and took out the match 67-59. The West Coast Fever went up against the Sunshine Coast Lightning, taking it out in a tight contest 68-66, with the Lightning having an opportunity to close out the match in the closing minute. In swimming, Katie Ledecky made history again after shattering her own record. In the 800 metre final, the 9-time Olympic gold medalist shattered a 9-year record that she held at a swim series meet in Fort Lauderdale in Florida. Ledecky clocked an 8-minute, 4-second, .12, improving upon her record that she set at the Rio Olympics in 2016. It was Ledecky's first world record since 2018. What a champion swim from a spectacular swimmer. In football, Chelsea have won the Women's Super League for the 6th consecutive season. Chelsea went into the match against Manchester United knowing that 1 point would secure the title. A second half header from Lucy Bronze secured the points and clinched Chelsea the WSL title with 2 games left in the season. They beat Manchester United 1-0. In Rugby Sevens, New Zealand are the 2025 World Champions. The New Zealand outfit took down the Aussie Seven girls in the World Championship final in Los Angeles on Monday. The Kiwis won 31-7 in a dominant display. However, it wasn't all doom and gloom for the Aussies, with Maddie Levi taking out women's top try scorer for the 3rd consecutive year in a row. Maddie Levi scored an incredible 54 tries over the 24-25 season. In the men's, South Africa are the world champions after defeating Spain in the final 19-5. In basketball, the Knicks have come from behind to beat the Boston Celtics. Down by as much as 20 points halfway through the third quarter, the Knicks fought their way back and chipped away at the deficit. They won the third and the fourth quarter to take the game into overtime and getting the victory over the Celtics in Game 1 of the conference semi-finals. The next game is on Thursday, the 8th of May. In cricket, South African fast bowler Kagiso Rabada is banned for recreational drug use. Rabada will still be eligible to face Australia in the World Test Championship at Lords. It comes as a fast bowler has had a positive test returned for a recreational drug use. Under the World Anti-Doping Agency, otherwise known as WADA, an athlete would face a ban of up to 4 years for use of an illicit drug. However, the ban is scaled back to 3 months if an athlete can prove that the episode was unrelated to sporting performance, and even pared back to 1 month if an athlete completes a substance of abuse treatment plan that's approved by a responsible anti-doping organisation. Rabada has come out and publicly apologised for his actions and has returned to his IPL team. In the NRL, the New South Wales Blues take down the Maroons and the Raiders stun the Storm in the Magic Round thriller. The Women's State of Origin kicked off the weekend in front of a record crowd of 26,000 people, and on broadcast they had 2 million viewers tune in to the Women's State of Origin. The Blues won 32-12, and Isabel Kelly starred in an incredible captain's knock that included scoring a try. Jessie Southwell, the Blues halfback, stepped up after missing selection in the 2024 series, steering her side through and having an impact in majority of the Blues tries. In other games throughout the round, the Sharks put away the Eels in a tight contest, 28-18. The Warriors, that are more affectionately known as the Wars, took down the Cowboys 30-26 in what looked like to be in front of their home fans lighting up Suncorp Stadium. The Bulldogs got the better of the Titans 38-18 after Jacob Carraz scored 3 tries in a perfect performance just prior to Origin selection. Nathan Cleary shut down the Doubters and put in a dominant display for the Panthers to pick up a victory up against the Broncos, 32-8. But in one of the matches of the round, the Raiders have pulled off one of the great upsets, defeating the Storm 20-18 in a golden point thriller. The Raiders put the game away thanks to a penalty goal from Jamal Fogarty, who announced during the week prior that he had signed with the Sea Eagles on a 3-year deal from 2026, being the replacement for Daly Cherry Evans. In the AFL, the Swans soar in the 30th Sydney Derby against the Giants. The Giants came out with a banner for the players to run through, which read, "We lost the grand final, that wasn't nice. You got smashed not once, but twice." Quite fighting words from the Giants prior to the game. But after the Swans came out of the blocks firing, the Giants were searching for answers in the first quarter. The match had plenty of spiteful moments, with the arch rivals not willing to give each other an inch. But the Swans held on for a 14-point win up against the big sound from the west of the town, giving their finals hopes a boost. In other games, Hawthorn dispatched the Richmond Tigers by 65 points, as Hawthorn celebrated their AFL and VFL century in style. Fan favourite Jack Gunston kicked his 500th career goal in front of a 62,000 crowd at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, otherwise known as the MCG. In the Battle of Queensland, the Lions beat the Gold Coast Suns by 17 points, and Collingwood went down to Geelong by 3 points, 90-87, with Jack Cripps from Collingwood having an opportunity to score the match-winning goal after the siren. At the end of the round, the Brisbane Lions now lead the competition, 4 points clear of Collingwood, followed by Hawthorn and the Gold Coast Suns to round out the top 4. And with that, we will take a short break and get into your Burning Rubber breakdown. It's time for the Burning Rubber breakdown. Let's burn it up. In Formula 1, Oscar Piastri takes his 4th win of the season at the Miami Grand Prix. Piastri, who started the Grand Prix in 4th place, as Max Verstappen, who welcomed Lily, his first child, with wife Kelly, on Thursday, started from pole. After Verstappen moved Norris off the track at turn 2, Piastri started moving forward through calculated and authoritative moves. On the opening lap, Jack Doohan hit Liam Lawson at turn 1, and both drivers had to retire due to damages. On lap 14, Piastri caught the race leader Verstappen. Heading into turn 1, the Australian forced Verstappen into a mistake and took the race lead. Norris, in a solid recovery drive, fought back from 6 on the opening lap to finish 2nd at the end of the Grand Prix. And George Russell, who's proving to be Mr. Consistent over this season, finished 3rd for Mercedes. For Piastri, he continues to lead the championship with a 16-point gap back to his teammate Norris. Also in Formula 1, Jack Doohan from Alpine is set to be replaced by Franco Colapinto. Only 7 races into his Formula 1 career, it's rumoured that Alpine have axed Jack Doohan effectively immediately. The Alpine squad are set to promote the reserve driver, Franco Colapinto, from next round at Imola in Italy. Colapinto will line up alongside Pierre Gasly. For Doohan, the rumours have unfortunately circled him even before his first race at the Australian Grand Prix. Alpine, at the end of the day, are looking after Colapinto and their wallets, as Colapinto is set to bring in more than $50 million of sponsorship into the drive. That is your burning rubber breakdown. And now it's time for your fast fact for a pub chat. It's time to pull yourself a chair and pour yourself a drink. It's time for your fast fact for a pub chat. And this week's fast fact, it will be centered around golf. Did you know that the only sport to be played on the moon is golf? That's right. Astronaut Alan Shepard hit a shot with a 6-iron back in 1971, and since, golf has gone sky high. Oh, that's terrible. And with that, we are into the final segment for this week. It's 3 games I'm looking forward to this weekend. In the NRL, we have a top of the table clash. It's the Canberra Raiders taking on the Bulldogs in Canberra. For the Raiders, they will be riding the high of beating the Storm and trying to continue their fantastic form. For the Bulldogs, they still lead the competition currently, and they'll have the return of Matt Burton after suspension. They will look to test themselves against another top side. In the AFL, the Geelong Cats will take on the GWS Giants. For Geelong, they will look to build upon their win against Collingwood, as the Cats currently sit in 7th place. For the Giants, they need to bounce back after going down to the Swans, as they sit in 8th place, as teams behind them are looking to take that 8th place. In football, in the Women's A-League, the second legs of the semi-final will take place. Melbourne Victory will go up against Adelaide United, and Melbourne City will take on the Central Coast Mariners this weekend. And with that, we have come to the end of today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you on the next play.